Hi guys, thank you for joining me. I'm Ruby and this is Ruby Reads Tarot. I have a bit of a special for you guys today. I have a pick a card reading and it is for the lunar eclipse that took place yesterday in the sign of Sagittarius, and we're going to have one next in the sign of Cancer with the new moon, and then another one in the sign of Capricorn. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pick four cards, and you get to choose whichever card you feel resonates with you the most. And from there, we'll sort of, in the description box, you can find out the time tagged and you can go straight to your message and hear and decipher what your message is for this phase. Now, just to repeat and be very clear, this is for the phase of the lunar eclipse season that we're entering now. Lunar eclipses are generally quite important because they're a lot to do with endings. It's a lot to do with rounding up things that we know we should perhaps let go of. And it's really just so that we can make room for what's new to come. There is a lot of planetary action that's happening this month, in the month of June. There is a lot astronomically for us to be aware of. And a lot of it is preordained for us to create change around us. Okay? This lunar eclipse period, we've got Mercury going into retrograde, Venus is already in retrograde, and it is a matter now of writing out destiny and seeing how it is that we can lead ourselves into a future where we're living through our highest self. Okay, now I have four cards. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'll just give you a minute to choose your card, feel which one resonates with you the most. It's a good idea to take a deep breath before you do this. Are we ready? Now, to follow up with the message, I'm going to use the Psychic Tarot as well as the Chakra Oracle, and I might use some other cards as impromptu cards if I feel as if I need to clarify the message even more, as well as a Waite deck anyway. So, if everyone's ready, let's start. So guys, if you picked card number 1, I have here the Six of Swords. Your message for this eclipse season is to move on. The message really is quite clearly to take what is valuable to you, the lessons you've learned, the experiences you've gained, take what's precious, take your dignity, take everything that you feel you've learned from this situation, and the time now truly is to wrap it all up and move on to greener pastures. It may have been a tricky road, it may have been a difficult time leading up to this. This eclipse season does want to release you and set you free, and it's giving you the opportunity to walk away with safety, with, you know, the utmost respect and dignity, to take what you have learned, take what's precious, and move forward. There's an element of a peaceful move. There's also an element of wanting to move forward. There is a real need, however, to take what you've learned from a situation. I feel like you've reached the maximum conclusion of it. I feel as if it would be in your best interest to be proactive about moving forward now, and maybe laying out a plan, getting organized as to which direction that you want to go in. Use this solar eclipse season, not just solar eclipse season, but use this eclipse season to be able to really get into the nitty-gritty and really plan and organize, but to be very proactive about moving. I have here the Hope card to clarify that. It seems as if you'll be moving forward in a direction of hope. Something that may mean that you are happier, you are liberated from a situation, you get to really tune into yourself. And the key here is to remain hopeful number 17. 6 and 17. I think I would look up those numbers. The color here is yellow. The chakras here are the palm chakras. So you might be creating a lot with your hands. You might be using your hands a lot. I would also say to take care of your hands in this period. You know, extra lotion, maybe give yourself a manicure, etc. And maybe even use acupuncture pressure points to see if you can release any tensions through your hands also. There's one spot that I really like to use. It's this spot here, just sort of in between the bones, and I press down on that whenever I feel like I'm overwhelmed. That's a good one to do. I think the thing here with the movement is that it's got to be voluntary. It's got to be, you've got to make your own resolve to it. You've got to decide that this is it for me, and you've got to be really hopeful about your future, where you're going next, the direction that you're wishing to take. There's a real emphasis on your solar plexus chakra. This is based right underneath your, like sort of right underneath your rib cage, right in the center of it. This is where we find our self-worth, our confidence. It is fire energy, and this is the Sagittarius lunar eclipse that took place last night. So I think a real emphasis on your self-confidence, your ability. If you didn't believe you'd be able to make this change, I think now is a really good time for you to reaffirm yourself and maybe use affirmations to strengthen that solar plexus, as well as sending as much energy into that chakra. Let's move on to the chakra oracle cards for another message. Just to clarify, the 6 of Swords for card number 1, for group number 1. Let's get another message for group number 1 with the 6 of Swords and the card of Hope. I have here growth. It seems as if you have outgrown a situation. It seems as if there are new ventures for you to take solely because you've exhausted the space that you're in at the moment. If you feel as if there is, this isn't something that you want to do, I think I would release the resistance, because you're growing quite quickly, and I feel as if you've outgrown the space that you're in at the moment, and it is really imperative that you summon a lot of courage and a lot of strength in, you know, the core of your belly. Really get that fire going, because it seems to me as if there is a journey and a voyage that is going to really lead you to a much brighter experience than you may have already been experiencing. The key here is that it's really positive. And Sagittarius, this full moon, has been a lot to do with mutable fire, which is the consistent movement, right? There's no room for stagnation here. And to be least resistant to the fact that movement can give us the potential and the opportunity to grow and to see new things and discover new things and expand our consciousness. And I think this is a great time, because I feel as if there's a lot that you can learn through doing so. I think that's all I have for you, group number 1. All right, group number 2, I have the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups generally comes with a message, more often than not a message of love. This can be a new love, a new romantic offer. This can also be the reaching a new level with an existing relationship. I think where you may have thought you have exhausted all avenues, I feel like the water breaks and there's a possible stream of emotion that you may not have discovered yet. For more often than not, I think this for me is being asked out on a date by someone that you I think romantically are interested in. It is definitely a message coming with good news. And if you've been feeling as if you have had a lot to deal with emotionally, I feel as if you get a chance to bring some new energy into your emotions or see things from a different perspective. I think it's a really good time for you to perhaps delegate what you've been finding quite difficult. If there are matters of the heart that you need to express, this is a good time for you to really get into your feelings. And with Venus going into retrograde, with Mercury going into retrograde, communication really needs to be quite clear, quite upfront, quite emotion-led. And I think this is that one time with the Knight of Cups. I would really say, if you were wondering if you should, you know, use your emotions over your intelligence, I would say this is definitely that one time to really think from the heart more so than the brain. Ooh, I have patience. Could be you waiting on a message from someone. The patience card depicts generally like waiting for all the situations, like for everything to come together. That thing makes me think, this card makes me think, you know, if you plant a seed, you wouldn't dig it up the next day to see if something's happened or if your plant's going to grow. You've obviously sown the seeds. You've got to wait here. If you're waiting for a message of love, this eclipse season, I think, might be one where you get your answer, soulmate. Okay. This has just put a whole different spin on this for me. Group number 2. It looks to me as if the patience that you may have had in drawing in your soulmate, this eclipse season brings you the message in regards to a soulmate that you may have been waiting for. A lot of you may be finding new love. A lot of you may be finding yourself really like being caught off guard with a message that comes forward, something like someone you bump into. Could be a water sign, doesn't necessarily have to be. It is a very open-hearted, very honest, very sincere, very genuine and generous offering of love. This is a spiritual connection. Could be with a soulmate. You could be reaching a new phase after having done a lot of the work, after being really patient about it. You will be seeing a lot of the seeds that you sowed come to fruition. This is a very fruitful time for you in regards to soulmate relationships. This could either be healing through emotional vulnerability, so there is a real need to wear your heart on your sleeve here. There is a real need to be very emotionally led, like you've got to rule from the heart with this period. Group number 2. It's very important that you're doing soulmate meditations, soulmate affirmations. And the thing I always find is when you're calling in your soulmate, it has to be something like that's done energetically from your heart. And when you really feel someone or something from your heart is when you can create an authentic love bond with them. If you really want to draw in a soulmate, if you really want harmony within a union, the thing here has to be communication, has to be entirely heart-led. It's got to be open, it's got to be honest, it's got to be very fair to everyone who's involved. There's got to be an element of patience with the other person also. You know, things don't always have to work on our timing. They work on the universe's timing for the best of everyone involved. And maybe sometimes reminding ourselves that, yeah, we want something really bad, creates a disharmony or a disunion. And you've got to be very careful with that, because sometimes it's like taking one step forward and then taking 3 steps back. So be patient with the process. Expect a very beautiful message to come forward. Could be an invitation. This is very possibly new love. The invitation that a soulmate brings to you, which really is a reward of your patience. I think that's all I have for you, group number 2. So group number 3 for you, I have the 9 of Cups. Wow. This eclipse season for you is a lot to do with your personal fulfillment. I feel as if it is a great time for you to reflect back on how far you've come. Look at all of everything you've achieved up until now, and just take pride in the foundations that you have set up for yourself. The comfortability, the safe setting, the future that you are building really needs you to just take a moment. And I think this eclipse season is really going to highlight for you how you've really built contentment for yourself. And what you're doing needs to be appreciated and celebrated. Do not become complacent in this energy. Stay consistent. I really want to say just dream really big. Don't stop dreaming. I think you may have come really far. So far this year, you've really worked hard and really plugged in. A lot of this has to do with self-contentment, being at a place where you are finally like just really happy with your achievements and who you are as a person and what you've done so far. And it's like a pat on the back. And I feel as if this eclipse season for you is really going to highlight how you've really done it for yourself and how you should really take some time out amidst everything that's going on and really celebrate yourself. Do not become complacent. Keep plugging along and just really dream big, group number 3. If you haven't felt this 9 of Cups yet, I feel like this eclipse season might actually highlight for you wins, personal wins, gains, situations that you may have overcome. I've got 2 cards that have jumped out from the Psychic Tarot deck. Let's have a look at what we've got. I've got Wisdom and I've got Material Harvest. So group number 3, you are really coming into a period of like just abundance. You're really coming into a time where your manifestation is really on point, where life's really taught you a lot of lessons and you've really had to learn. You've really had to like focus intently. And this might be the advice for you as well. Like, never become complacent, but always remember to celebrate yourself. It's like entrepreneurs, business people. You have to learn to pay yourself first and foremost. And I think with this group of cards, you're really about to step into a very abundant time, a very fulfilling time, one that involves material harvest. You know, the seeds that you've sown are paying off. You are being recognized. You're being respected. People seek wisdom from you. You've been doing a really good job in terms of putting your future together, saving the money, you know, being really pragmatic, really taking the time to nurture your projects. I think your relationship with other people is fantastic at the moment as well. People really seek, you know, your advice. They really turn to you and look up to you. There is the sun in the back also, so there is more like real deep intent focus on your solar plexus. Again, I would say this is a chakra that continue working on self-esteem issues, self-worth issues, really nurturing that inner child. And I think if you've been doing manifestation work, I would keep at it. It would be a really good time for you to, I think, share your wins also. So maybe instead of, you know, being in a very solo, isolated situation to enjoy your goods, maybe involve family, very close friends to share with you. So share the abundance wherever you can. And I feel as if you set your mind to something in this phase, it is very likely that you're going to achieve your desired outcome. Just don't let it get to over materialism or greed. Just be very careful about all of that. Stay gracious. I would really strongly suggest that you give to charity in this phase. It would really come back to you in a good way. Okay, group number 3. That's really wonderful. Really, really nice. And I think that this is going to be a very successful phase for you. Take care. Hi, group number 4. And for you, I have the 9 of Pentacles. What a wonderful card. This eclipse season for you really highlights your independence. It highlights the work, the hard work that you've had to do to create financial stability and create security around yourself. This is definitely a card of great accomplishment, real hard work and accomplishment. This is you being quite fulfilled with what you have. There is a real element of appreciation to this, a real element of freedom, and a real element to independence. Your communication also, I feel as if there is an opportunity for you to speak your abundance into your present truth. I feel as if it's a good time, especially with this Mercury retrograde in Cancer, for you to spend a lot of time focusing on home. I think on a financial level, you are definitely reaping a lot of rewards, and I think things are definitely on your terms. A lot of this is on your terms. If you might be feeling a little bit bored with the status quo, I think it is a good time for you to maybe change things up a little bit. Maybe seek a new adventure. maybe see where you can expand and grow and develop yourself. I think you've definitely got the financial abundance to do so. I'm not going to take all of those cards. There are 3 that turned upwards though, so I will have to take those. So, group number 4. Your message for this eclipse season is movement, choices, and decisions. Sacrifice, discontent, and boredom. Wow, okay, this is definitely, you know, I think if you have reached a certain point in your life where you may feel as if you've conquered your domain, like you've done everything that you can do within this space that you've worked so hard to create for yourself, discontent and boredom perhaps is crawling in, and it may even act like a trigger point for you. You may feel as if there is more out there for you to accomplish. I feel as if sometimes we create a setting, it can become quite suffocating for us, even though it's an environment that we've created, because we've very obviously outgrown it. And I think this eclipse season for you is really going to highlight how discontentment and boredom might have you feeling a little bit unappreciative of what you have and what you've been working for. I think you should really revel in the fact that financially you are really you're in a situation, you have the opportunity to be able to do whatever you want, but really now is the time for you to seek more. That now is really the time for you to look outside the box, think outside the box, think where it is that you have become so accustomed to living life on your own terms, what you can do to push the envelope with that a little bit. Movement, choices, and decisions. I feel as if there is a lot to do with you breaking out of the confines that you have had to set up for yourself in order for you to feel more secure, more established, more set up. And now you might be faced with choices, decisions about movement, which direction you want to go. Is this partner someone that you can see yourself with for the rest of your life? Are you willing to take the next level in a commitment? Are you willing to push the boat out? Are you willing to move if that's what you need to do? Where is it that you can grow and where is it that you can expand? Sacrifice. I think it is perhaps a time for you to decide if you are genuinely content with what you have, or is there more out there, and if you settle for what you have, will you be able to satiate that discontent and boredom in a way that is healthy and it's not destructive and it won't slowly chip away at everything you have earned? I feel as if this eclipse season might have you thinking about movement a lot. And there might be certain sacrifices that you have to make in order for a better tomorrow, a renewal. I think that makes it very clear. You're ready for a new adventure. You're really ready for a new challenge. And I would take that quite seriously. I would really think about where it is that you want to go now, because there is a need for you to be reborn somehow. You need the new, exciting, you need the blood pumping through your veins. You need this excitement. There needs to be a shift. And I think this eclipse season is going to highlight for you that if you are going to stay in a position, and as beautiful as it might be and as lovely as it might be that you've created all of this lovely stuff around you, unless you're not willing to sacrifice something and go and chase the bigger dream, go and, find the counsel, go and pursue the things that mean that you're breaking out of a very restrictive discontent and boredom kind of situation. Even this guy here, like, he doesn't look like he's in a bad situation at all. He looks like he's in a very blessed, plush situation. But if you're really going to organize this in a correct way, you have to ask yourself, are a lot of the hardships that you might be experiencing literally because you're feeling restricted? And is there something that you can do to maybe create this renewal space within your life? Is there something that you can do in order to really take movement to the next level? Are there choices that need to be made, decisions that you need to really decide on once and for all? This is a really exciting period for you, group number 4, and I think it would really serve you to make plans for the rest of the year, the next 6 months. Think about where you see yourself at the end of the year. If there is anything that you have yet to accomplish, so maybe look back at your New Year's resolution list from the beginning of this year I know a lot of things haven't necessarily gone the way we expected to, but that doesn't mean we can't do damage control over the rest of our lives, right? Where is it that you want to go next? What is it that you want to pursue next? Relationship, business, house move, whatever it is. The opportunity is now, and this eclipse season is really asking you to make the most of this time, because you have everything that you need around you to be able to create renewal. And there really needs to be a sense of renewal that needs to be like this phase, like this spring season. As we transition into summer, you're about to see a lot of things come into blossom for you. And just like that, we have to renew ourselves, who we are, our thinking, our, the way we behave. Accept changes, and if discontent and boredom is something that you're dealing with at the moment, you will best know the direction that you need to take next. The only thing here is there are sacrifices that need to be made, choices, decisions that need to be made in regards to movement, but ultimately renewal. It is for your best. I think that's all I have for you, group number 4. So guys, that's all I have. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you have a beautiful eclipse season. If you liked the video, do give it a thumbs up. To book a reading, visit rubyreadstarot.com. All donations to the channel are greatly appreciated. You'll find the links on where to do so in the description box. I'm Ruby. Thank you so much for joining, guys, and I shall catch you again soon. Take care.